always my goal when I went to college was to be a consulting engineer and to own or have part ownership of my own company. I was never one that wanted to be a manager. And I don't know why I thought early that I wanted to be an owner of a company, because what that means, I really didn't want to do that when I found out what it was.
And so we get in there, and within 5 minutes of the meeting, one board member says, well, we might as well just get right to it right now. Resolution number 1, read the resolution. Firing the manager. Resolution 2, firing this other guy. Resolution 3, firing this other guy. Resolution 4, I said, oh my God, I'm right in between those. I must be number 4. And they start reading that resolution. My name was on that resolution. I knew right away what it was. Or I thought I knew right away what it was. And what it was naming me as acting general manager. And I just sat there and I said, what am I going to do? And I was an engineer. I didn't know accounting or any of that other stuff. I guess the thing I got out of that particular event was, hey, when these opportunities happen, grab them and run. Don't just sit there and say, well, I can't do it, or I don't want to do it. Grab it.
No, I think the water industry is a wonderful industry to be in, and I don't imagine anybody here, like in high school, thought, you know what, I want to be a water guy. I just stumbled on it through unemployment, and it's just been wonderful. Just enjoyed it, and Iowa folks, are just wonderful.
First, I went to the Water Pollution Control Association meeting in Clear Lake in 1971 and joined. And I think WWA was a couple of years later. I've been a member of both of them for at least 40 years. Being a member from a consultant's perspective of those associations, and if you're going to be a member, that you should be an active member and participate in committees. It's a good service to the state, and it's a really good way to meet clients. My experience working with both an AWWA and the Wastewater Association have been so valuable in terms of the people I've met, the things I've learned, the expertise that I can call upon, and the professional associations are so valuable just in terms of the education that they provide. The technical expertise that's available, not only in the courses and the training like this, but in the individuals that you become acquainted with. But I always saw my job as getting out of my staff's way and helping them to do their job. Whatever I could do to facilitate them doing their job better, quicker, easier, that was my job. I saw my main job as getting out of people's way so they could do their job and helping them get that job done.
Learn to manage your emotions. Your boss, your board, your council may not know more than you do about a particular topic. They may not have the same agenda that you do. But you can't get discouraged. You have to keep in mind, why am I here? What am I attempting to accomplish? How do I best accomplish it?
I mean, when I started as supervisor, like I say, I knew that some of the people knew more about some of those programs than I did. This is what I would tell my staff. First of all, you need to know not only the regulation. As an inspector, you need to know what the regulation is. So in addition to knowing the regulations, which the inspector is supposed to do, I wanted my inspectors to know what was behind the regulation. Why?
The biggest thing is you have to be true to yourself. Don't do something because somebody else wants you to that you think violates one of your basic tenets. I learned very early on that you should never accept what somebody tells you you're supposed to do. You have to follow the law. You have to follow the regulations. Trust me, law books, the statute, the regulation, they are really boring to read. You have to read them. And trust me, there are numerous ways that you can comply with the requirements. You have to find the way that fits.
Remember that protection of public health is not just regulatory compliance. But I can cite numerous examples throughout my career where the prudent course of action was to go along with the regulatory requirements.
Here comes the world's largest nitrate facility. We're going to build this thing. It is going to increase the water rate by 25%. 25% rate increase. There hasn't been one case of metahemoglobinemia in Iowa from a public water system since 1945. And I said, it's the thing to do. And I explained it from the standpoint that we were protecting the public health of infants. We had to have public hearing. The board said, you got to do a public hearing. People are not going to accept that. All the media was there. Time for the public hearing came. Not one person. I asked Kevin, I said, I don't understand this. He says, LT, it's so obvious. I said, if it is so obvious, tell me what it is. He says, you're protecting the health of children. I learned a very, very important point out of that experience, and that is, you have to communicate to the public, otherwise it becomes a political issue.